Hey Jordan.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Right, so if you have a Ducati, or a Monster specifically, you'll notice that the rear brake does this until you pump it, and then it gets stiff.
Ooh.
This is because Ducati had the bright idea to run the brake cable, or the brake lines, round here, past the exhaust, and they get very, very, very warm, which boils the fluid, and then means that you have too much air or too much water in the system, because brake fluid is hygroscopic, not hydroscopic, hygroscopic.
With a G.
With a G, and that means it takes on water. So what we have here is Ravenol 325 plus racing brake fluid, because obviously when the brakes get really, really hot here, they idle at about 280 degrees. Normal .4 won't do that. You need racing brake fluid in the back of a Ducati, particularly a Monster. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of all this fluid, we'll flush it all out, because it's like water. And then we'll put the 325 plus in and go from there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any issues, and maybe we'll give it a clean as well. Let's go. Okay, right, so the best thing to do is remove the rear brake caliper on these, because it's so much easier. Then you can basically set that at its highest point. Obviously there's some rust remover because it's probably going to be stuck. You need an M6 hex bit, and the bolts you are removing are on your caliper here. You'll see there is a hex bolt here, and then there's a hex bolt here as well. So they're the ones that need to come off. And that's what we will do now. Give them a spray. That's the bit. Right, so I'm going to remove the bolts holding the calipers in, and then we can swing out the caliper.
Somewhere in there.
And just like that, the caliper is free. So what we can do is you can basically bend the caliper around and keep this nipple at the top, because it normally sits at the bottom. And that's such a stupid place to put it, isn't it, Ducati? Okay, once you've removed the caliper, the best thing to do is grab like a, this is just a 5mm hex bit, and place it into the caliper like that, just to stop it closing on itself, and then keeping pressure in the system. And then what we'll do is we'll pump the brake.
How many times?
Should get tight. Yeah?
Nope.
No, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, it's clamped it.
Yeah.
And then with that clamped in there, as you can tell, we'll then go ahead and start the bleeding process. So here is your bleed nipples. Give that a spray. And then what we'll do is we'll remove the dust cover, and we'll get a, ooh, okay, that should come straight off. Then we'll get a, I believe, 10mm socket on this. It's just a bit easier to crack it rather than using a spanner. I lied, it was an 11mm. Same as a BMW, it turns out. Alright, so just pop that on there. So just give it a crack. There we go. Like you can see, there's a bit of brake fluid dribbling out there. Cool. And then it's time to put the hose on and start the complete brake procedure. Normally you can do this one-handed on a bike, but I'm going to use Bridget because it's easier. Yay. What you need is some little bit of tubing. I have no idea what the diameter is on this, I apologise. And we'll just pop that on there, make sure it's tight. You can see that it should be tight. Once you've got your hose on, you need a bottle. So I've selected Nando's hot sauce to use as it. It doesn't matter what brand you use, you can use any other brand, but it has to be hot. And then you basically feed that in there like so. Now, normally when you're flushing the brake fluid, so we're going to drain it completely, but when you're flushing it, you need to put new oil in this. But we're not doing that because we're cool. And then what we need to do around this side is get a rag, put that around there, and that's just going to mop up any spillages, because what we're going to do is take this off, and then take out this little jigglypuff, shove that in there, and then what we're going to do with this nut tightened here, apply pressure on here. So you're going to go pump, 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 and we're going to hold it. Can you hold it?
I can put my foot on it.
That'll do. Ow, ow, ow! And then we're going to crack this. No, I can't do this. Basically crack that open, and you'll see the fluid come out like that. And then when the fluid stops, you close it, and you release the pressure on the brake pedal, and then you repeat the whole process over and over again. So we're going to keep doing that somehow. Okay, pump. 1, 2, 3, pump. And then hold it. Yep.
Let go?
No, keep it. Okay, release and pump again.
Oh gosh.
You ready? Again. And I need to put some more fluid in because it's now reached its minimum.
To the max?
Yep. And we'll repeat the same process again. Another thing to check is if you just pump it. Pump, 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 pump. And release.
And release.
Release. So you see air bubbles come up like that. If you pump again, show it again. And then release. See air bubbles come up like that.
Oh yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll just leave this for a bit, let the air bubbles work themselves out, and then we'll go back to bleeding it again. So just because basically a brake is a pump, we're just going to make sure this is just loose resting on there, and then we're going to tie this brake lever slightly open. Because it's slightly open, that's going to open the pump, and then it should allow all that air. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, all the air is just slightly escaping now.
Can't really see anything.
Pull back a bit. But that'll just allow all the air to escape. If we just rest it on there, stop things getting in it. And then we'll come back to it and re-bleed again, because bike brakes are quite finicky.
In about 20 minutes?
In about 20 minutes, yeah, something like that, half an hour. We'll have some toast and then go from there.
What's going on, my love?
Well, what's going on is that we've left that with this open for about 20 to 30 minutes or whatever it was.
Time for a piece of toast and a cup of tea.
Yeah, we had a piece of toast and a cup of tea. So what we'll do now is, hopefully that's got most of the fluid out, so we can try and raise the caliper up even further. Whoop.
So more pump, 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 release.
More pump, 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 release. Yeah, that's good because nothing is coming out of there now. Oh, just one bubble that came out. Oh, a couple of more bubbles. A couple of big bubbles coming out. And just give your master cylinder a bit of a tap.
What's that doing?
Just going to force all the air out. We'll make it all right at the top.
It is bloody freezing.
It's not warm in old Wales. Right, we'll go back to bleeding. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and hopefully it's a new life for my rear brake.
Nice!
I thought you'd like that. So what I've done is we bled the system a couple of times. We're basically just flushing fluid, and there was quite clearly air still stuck in it, so there's no pressure on this at all. So what I've done overnight is I've left it, with some use of zip ties here, left it just slightly off the stop, so it allows the master cylinder to stay open, so it means the air bubbles can escape. Because what we're doing is we're pumping it and seeing air coming back up through here. And now I have a working brake. And you'll see, if we undo this, when we drop that, if we pump, hang on, just grab this. When we pump this, no air bubbles come back up. So we have a fixed working brake, and that, annoyingly, is how to do an oil change. Do a brake fluid change. There's a bit of a faff on this, but we've done it. So that will be that. Thanks.